Hey there, X-Men fans, this is Wesatron. Today we're going to be taking a look at Hasbro's Marvel Legends Marvel's Phoenix action figure. This is in the X-Men Legends line that came out recently in 2016, and they retail for about $19.99 a piece. Same yellow box as the other characters in the lineup. Unique art on the side for Phoenix, looks pretty cool. On the back, we've got Juggernaut and all of the characters in the wave. No credits on the bottom. Same art on the other side. And the only bit of bio we get up here says, an expert of psionic force. Jean Grey uses her powers of telepathy and telekinesis as the mind-controlling hero Phoenix. So that's pretty much it on the packaging. It's the same window box we've seen with all the Marvel Legends figures. It looks really nice. There's a nice yellow X in the background. But it's been done. So let's get her out of the package and see what she's like. Here we have Jean out of packaging. First things first, her only included piece is the Juggernaut chest. And it looks really, really nice. It's really massive compared to the figure itself. And you can see this thing is going to be a huge figure. Very excited about that. Simple articulation there, which, as I mentioned before, we'll go over in the Juggernaut review. But very nice paint and everything, looking great. As for Jean Grey, she is not bad. I would say this figure, I mean, she's completely reused parts up to this point. As far as I can tell, other than the head. And I'm not 100% sure if the hair that's on this figure isn't what we saw before in the previous 90s Jean Grey action figure. But that doesn't mean to say she's bad. It's just nothing stellar about her. Nothing really jumps out. But we'll get a little close-up here. A little more light. The face, I mentioned before, a lot of the females in the Marvel Legends line tend to have sort of a generic look to them. They all look kind of similar. She's got that look, you know, she's a little bit wall-eyed, almost like her eyes are kind of going that way and that way as opposed to straight ahead. But, you know, not bad. She's got dark lipstick, which I guess is sort of emblematic of the Dark Phoenix. She's got her green costume as opposed to the red or the white or the millions of other variations of this character we've gotten. The gold paint on the chest is very, very crisp. They did a really great job with that. We do have some nice washes on the hair here. So it's just like a, maybe like a dark brown type of wash to kind of bring out the orange. Because it's not a straight, like a natural looking red color hair, so that helps kind of just define it a little better. She's got the kind of not splayed open hands like Shadowcat came with, but sort of more like a Doctor Strange type of mystical looking hands. Floating belt here is similar to like I think Psylocke came with it, and Miss Marvel and things like that. So yeah, very much what we've seen for the character so far. I don't see anything that looks really out of place to me in terms of articulation, or I'm sorry, sculpt or paint. Like she's par for the course. She's kind of what the line looks like. As far as articulation, she does have a ball jointed head. Despite her hair actually has pretty good range on. She's got some nice tilt and some down and up, which is very blocked by the hair, but she does have a hinge there as well, so she can get back about that far, which this hair kind of fits into the small of her back, so it kind of works, and then she can look very far forward. So very cool on that. She's got swivel hinge shoulders all the way around, nothing to impede them at all. She gets about 90 degrees, maybe a little bit more, right about 90, and then a swivel as well, so a swivel hinge in the elbow, swivel hinge in the wrist. Nothing to impede that. Goes all the way around and up and down. Ball jointed in the midsection. You know, got good forward, back, and then side to side. So pretty decent there. The one of the big hindrances for me is the hips. They only go out if you hold her straight down and then do that. That's about as far as she's going to go out. It's not a huge deal. It's probably about where Shadowcat was getting, but it just, I don't know, because I guess the rest of the sculpt is so bland to me, it just doesn't really stand out as being good. Forward, though, she gets a nice range. Back, of course, is blocked by the butt, as per usual. Swivels in the thighs. Double hinge knees. Goes all the way back to there. Unfortunately, no swivels in the calf, which is a huge letdown for me on these figures because she's got the platform shoes that some of the ladies have, which gives her a smaller footprint overall. It shortens the length of the foot, so when you go to try to balance her, it's a lot more difficult because her feet are significantly smaller. So if you can see the difference between Shadow Cat and her feet, it makes a big difference when you're trying to balance a figure, especially one that's top heavy with this hair. So yeah, that's a bit of a letdown. I've never been a huge Jean Grey fan anyway, and I would say if you weren't a Jean Grey fan, this figure's probably not going to do much to bring you into the fold. It's just sort of an easy figure for Hasbro, I guess I should say. If I can get her stupid ankles. I really don't like it when they don't have calf swivels on these short feet. So, just an example of how different these bodies can be from figure to figure. For some reason, I guess it's the dark colors, this one looks a little meatier to me. She looks very skinny to me. You can see all the different parts they use. They really do a good job at, even though they reuse parts and stuff, when they add new sculpt, it does add a lot to the figures. It adds a lot to their uniqueness. You can do a very little bit and make it look very different with just a little bit of work, and I really appreciate that in Hasbro's Buck system. This just, unfortunately for me, just isn't a very standout character. Now, to the top of her hair, she's going to be about the same as Kitty Pryde, about 6 1/4 inches. So, not too bad. Tall, but Jean Grey was always, I think, supposed to be pretty tall. If you're looking for scale between Jean Grey and Kitty Pryde, there should probably be more of a discrepancy, but I will look that up and annotate so you guys know for sure. So yeah, this figure, I would say, is one of the more bare bones of this series. That's all she comes with. No effects parts. I think what would have really made this a great release for me would either have been a Phoenix base, you know, fiery base, which may have been too big and too costly, and I understand that, but a smaller base that just lifts her off the ground a little bit, so you could pose her, you know, with that classic, like, 1 foot in the air type of deal. You could have reused it for Storm, too, if you painted it a different color. Or even just, like, some fire effects. I mean, they've had a few different effects options over the years. Adding another one to the repertoire wouldn't have been bad at all. Especially if it was something they could reuse between her and Iron Fist, but I don't know. Like I said, this is not a spectacular figure for me, but I'm also not a Jean Grey fan. She may as well be a lamp to me. I've just never really enjoyed the character. So, that's it. 20 bucks. You need her to finish Juggernaut. I mean, this is arguably the most important piece of the set because it connects everything else together. So you kind of have to have it. So, you're going to get her if you want the Juggernaut. That's pretty much all I can say about her. I don't think she's great, but she's not terrible. So, yeah, and if she fits into your X-Men Legends collection, she would go well with the, I guess, 70s and 80s X-Men. So, you know, that's a bonus, too. So, that's it for this review. I know it was kind of short, but there's not much to say. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments about the figure, throw them in the box below, and I'll be glad to answer them to you. And if you want to see more X-Men Legends and Marvel Legends and all kinds of stuff reviews, throw me a subscription, and I'll have them up as soon as possible. Thanks for showing up, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.